Hi, boys and girls, it's Miss Bush. Today we're going to be learning about main idea and supporting details. This is your reading lesson for Tuesday. So we are going to first start by reading the book Groundwater, and we're just going to read pages 4 and 8. So I'm going to let Raz kids read for me, and I will show you how to access this book after we're done reading it.
Groundwater, written by Sean McCollum. Focus question: why is groundwater important? When the water runs out. Picture getting up one morning, turning on the faucet, and getting nothing but a gurgle. This happened in a part of California that is famous for its fruits and vegetables. Years of drought there meant little rain. To irrigate their crops, farmers pumped huge amounts of groundwater from under the land. The result was some 2,000 dry wells in 2014. Unfortunately, California isn't the only place with a water crisis. What and where is groundwater? Many of us look at a globe and think the planet holds plenty of water for all our needs. Most of Earth's water is in our oceans, however, and full of salt. Fresh water keeps us alive, yet very little of Earth's water is fresh. Of that small amount, most is frozen. Scientists say that 99% of Earth's usable water is in the ground. Most groundwater is stored beneath land in aquifers. These are underground layers of rock, gravel, and sand that hold groundwater like huge sponges. Rain and melting snow flow very slowly into the surface soil and rock to feed the aquifers. Aquifers can reach down thousands of feet and extend for thousands of miles. They feed our rivers, lakes, and wetlands. Their fresh water also irrigates the best farming areas in the world. For more than a century, people have been pumping billions of gallons of water from underground to drink, grow crops, and meet other needs. Even during a drought, communities and farms above aquifers can draw groundwater. It keeps many of us from going hungry and thirsty. The trouble is that groundwater levels are falling fast. People near and far must conserve this life-giving resource. Too many straws. We are pumping groundwater faster than nature can replace it, experts say. Since 1995, water levels have dropped in almost 2/3 of the wells across the United States, ups and mostly downs. The Ogallala Aquifer. The Ogallala Aquifer waters the wheat fields of America, but that water can't last forever. This map shows water level changes in the aquifer over a span of about 60 years. In some places, water levels are largely unchanged today. In others, they have crashed. Competition for groundwater is causing conflict in some farming areas. In Northern California, for example, winemakers grow fields of grapes, which need large amounts of water. Many of these winemakers have drilled deep wells to make sure they can get the groundwater they need. Without it, they might go out of business. Many smaller farmers and homeowners nearby, though, blame winemakers for sucking up too much of the groundwater they all share. In many cases, these smaller property owners cannot afford to drill deeper wells for themselves. As a result, their shallower wells go dry. It's as if everyone has their straws in the same drink, but some farms and businesses can pay for more and longer straws. This problem raises big questions. Who owns groundwater? What is fair?
All right, boys and girls.
Water.
Today, we are just reading pages 4 through 8. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm thinking, okay, what was one section that I can find the main idea of? There were 3 different sections in this part of the story. There was too many straws, which is on page 7 and 8. There were, there's a section called what and where is groundwater, which is pages 5 and 6. And then there's page 4, which is when the water runs out. So right now, I'm going to choose this section, pages 5 and 6, and I'm going to show you an example of how to find the main idea and the supporting details for this section. Now, because I am doing pages 5 and 6, your teacher expects you to do a different section. So either do page 4 or do pages 7 and 8. So I'm on my graphic organizer, and this will be assigned to you on your Google Classroom page by your teacher. Now, we are on day 12, so I'm going to go down to day 12. Okay, here it is. It says Water Around the World Journal, day 12. Use evidence from the text to support your thinking. So this chart is just going to help me organize my ideas and what I think the main idea of that section is, and what are some supporting details that I can use to support my main idea that I choose. So when I'm thinking of pages 5 and 6, and I go back to my text, I can see that it's mostly about where is groundwater, what is groundwater, and also what it's used for. So here I'm going to type in a complete sentence about what the main idea of this section is. So I'm going to say that pages 5 and 6 are mainly about what groundwater is, where it is located, and how it is used. And that's my main idea. Your main idea can just be one sentence, and that's perfect. Now I'm going down to my supporting details notes. This section, it says, what explicit information from the text supports your thinking about main ideas? So here I'm just taking some notes, so I might use this bullet point feature if you want to. And I'm going to think about, okay, what is it mostly talking about, and what are some details that I can use to support my main idea? So if I'm not sure and I don't remember, I can go back to my text, and I can look at my page and say, okay, what am I missing? So I'm going to go back and say, okay, I said I defined what is groundwater. That's part of my main idea. So here I can see that, okay, so I know that groundwater, it's fresh water. So I know that. I'm just going to do little notes, does not have to be complete sentences for this part, okay? I know groundwater is stored beneath land and aquifers. So stored under land and aquifers. I know that it comes from rain and snow. Okay, and those are some main things that stick out for me from page 5. Then I see here it says that they help to feed our rivers, lakes, and wetlands. So I might say rivers, lakes, wetlands. I might say irrigation helps with farming. Oops. Irrigation helps with farming, growing crops. It also says that it's used to for drinking water. Okay. And let's see if I got everything. So I said mainly what it's about. Okay, so I said what the groundwater is, where it's found, and how it's used. So I think I did a good job of finding details to support. Over in this section, I'm going to use my numbers, and I'm going to go ahead and number and give 3 supporting details for pages 5 and 6. If you find 4 supporting details, that's great, but I would try and shoot for at least 3 supporting details. So looking at my list, I want to first talk about what groundwater is, because that's part of my main idea statement. So I'm going to write in a complete sentence, groundwater is fresh water that comes from rain and snow. So I've done one part of my main idea statement. My next part is where it is located. So I'm going to write that in a complete sentence. Groundwater is located underground. and aquifers. Okay? And then my last section is how is it used? How it's used. So groundwater is used for feeding rivers, lakes, and wetlands, irrigation, farming, growing crops, and drinking water. So I can see right here that I have listed 3 details from my text. I went back to my text and I found those details that support my main idea here. Now, as you're doing this, if you find you don't have enough support for your main idea, it is perfectly okay to go back and change your main idea and revise it so it best fits the section you're working with. So what you're going to do now is you're going to work on this page, but you're not going to do pages 5 and 6 because I just did that. You are going to either choose page 4 or you can choose pages 7 and 8. Now, very quickly, I want to show you how to access the groundwater book. Your teacher has assigned it to you on RazKids. So you're going to go to Clever. You're going to click Learning A to Z. You're going to go up to Reading. Just put your mouse over Reading and you're going to click Assignment. Now, you might have a lot of books assigned to you, so just scroll down and you're going to look for the book called Groundwater. And for this student, it was at the very bottom. So if you click it, it will read it to you again, and you can look back through the text, and you can find your answers, and you can use this to help you fill in your chart by yourself. So again, you're going to be going back to this graphic organizer on your Google Classroom page from your teacher, and you're going to be filling in your own main idea, your own supporting details, and your own full-on sentences about those details. Okay? If you have any questions, make sure you tune in to your teacher's office hours, and I will see you guys later. Bye.